everyone, welcome back to the channel Unknown Physicist. So today we are in another video of our series Mastering MMP, and this is going to be the last video for the topic complex analysis. So we have done almost 7 videos in complex analysis and hope all those videos were really helpful for you. And today what we are going to see is all about complex integration, where we have 3 types, and I'll be again discussing you with some time saving tricks which is going to be really helpful for you. If you are a new visitor to this channel, in this channel I do make videos on different concepts of physics. So right now we are doing mathematical physics. I have completed linear algebra and about to complete complex analysis with this video. And one more is quantum mechanics. So over there also I have done quite important topics. You can check both the playlist. I have given the link in the description box. Don't forget to check. Sure, those videos will help for you. And today I have uploaded YouTube shorts regarding Cauchy-Riemann conditions problems. Those problems are little tough, but still don't worry. They are really easy. Just concentrate and look what the data asked and do a right approach to the problem. So that's it. So let's get started with today's video. In our previous video, we have seen the contour was defined over a curve or a line. So here my contour is going to be for a semi-infinite circle. My contour is going to be for a semi-infinite circle, right? So let this be type 1 problem, because we'll be discussing quite number of easy tricks over here. You should be very careful with that. So let there be a function minus infinity to plus infinity f of x dx. So I have to integrate this function, okay? So before that you should be very familiar with this. What do you mean by semi-infinite circle? So the x-axis will be elongating till infinity, okay? So here this is going to be our axis. This is 0. What is this quadrant? Here it is plus and plus. This quadrant it is minus plus. Here it is minus minus. Here it is plus minus. Hope everyone should be familiar. So this is nothing but x plus iy. This quadrant is minus x plus iy. Here it is minus x minus iy. Here this is x minus iy. So suppose if my z is equal to 2i. So whether it is lying inside this region or outside, it is going to lie inside the region because it is 0 comma plus 2, right? So if this is going to be in the first quadrant. Suppose if my z is equal to 1 minus I. So 1 minus I means, so plus 1 comma minus 1. So this is going to lie in the fourth quadrant. So it is going to lie outside the circle. So you should be able to recognize this point first. Okay. And next is, if your imaginary term, to be more clear, if your imaginary term is positive, then the points are going to lie inside the circle. I mean inside the semicircle. If your imaginary terms are negative, then they are going to lie outside. So this is also one way where you can identify. So this is one of the basic idea for this. So let's see what's next. So here for my case 1, like I'm considering it. So here my singular points lies on real axis. Lies on real axis. So what do you mean by real axis? It is nothing but over the x-axis. So this is going to be my semi-infinite circle. So suppose z is equal to 0, z is equal to 2, or z is equal to plus or minus 3. So if it is 0, it is over here. If it is 2, somewhere here. 3, somewhere here. And minus 3 again, somewhere here. So this is what I mean by singular points lie on real axis. Then how you should evaluate your integral is, it will be minus infinity to plus infinity. F of x dx is equal to pi I into summation of r. So summation of r is summation of your residues minus, this is something, limit z tends to infinity into z into f of x into pi I. Okay. So this is what? Something new which is to you. But this function is always 0. Okay. This function is always 0. Why means, actually what does this function means? First of all, this function is Gauss-Jordan lemma function. Okay. This is Gauss-Jordan lemma function. So this is going to be always 0. So you don't need to bother about this. So when this will be 0, there is a condition for that, which is order of numerator. Okay. Order of numerator is less than order of denominator. Less than order of denominator. So how much it should be less? At least by 2. At least by 2. Then only this term becomes 0. If it is if it is less than 2, I mean the difference is going to be less than 2, then you can't apply this method. Okay. So how it will be? I'm showing few examples. Suppose integral x by x square plus 1. So here what is your order of numerator? It is 0. What is order of denominator? It is 2. So 0 is less than 2. So one more example. Integral x square by x power 6 plus 1 dx. So here the numerator order is 2 and denominator it is 6. So there is a difference of 4. So in that case you can apply. So what is the formula you have to use is, one second, I will erase little things. So if your singular points lie on x-axis, that is real axis, you have to do minus infinity to plus infinity. Your function is f of x dx is equal to pi I into summation of r. Okay, pi I into summation of r. If your points lie on real axis, be clear, you have to use this. Okay, what if my point is not going to lie on real axis? Don't worry, I have a form for that also. So let this be case 2. So in case 2, singular points do not lie on real axis. Do not lie on real axis. Okay, again real axis means they doesn't lie on real axis. So I mean x-axis. So how that looks? So if my semi-infinite circle is something like this, so your points are going to be placed somewhere over here, over here. Okay. In that case, what you have to do is again integral minus infinity to plus infinity f of x dx is equal to, there we saw it is pi I. Here it is 2 pi I summation of r minus limit z tends to infinity z into f of z into pi I. Okay. So again, this is nothing but your Gauss-Jordan lemma condition. Again, here it is going to be 0 when order of numerator is less than order of denominator at least by 2. So then only you can apply this form. So be clear when you are spotting a question. Okay. So finally, minus infinity to plus infinity f of x dx is equal to 2 pi I into summation of residues. Okay. So for previous case, so where your singular points lie on x-axis, it was pi I. Because here it is does not lie on x-axis, real axis. So here it is 2 pi I. Okay. So let us solve few examples. So first question, integral minus infinity to plus infinity 1 by x square plus a square dx. Okay. So first condition, what you have to check, order of numerator is less than the order of denominator. So order of numerator, what it is? 0. Order of denominator, it is 2. So it is fine. So first we have to find our singular points. So which is x square is equal to minus a square. So which will be x is equal to plus or minus ia. Fine. So first is x is equal to ia and then next is s is equal to minus ia. So if your imaginary terms are negative, then it is going to lie outside the semicircle. So you should not do for this. Here it is plus ia, so it is inside the semicircle. So you have to do only for this. How to find the first residues? So residue for the function at z is equal to ia. So what is the order of pole here? It is 1 only, but still I have said right differentiation method, so I'm going to do by that way. So which will be, if I'm going to differentiate the denominator, so 1 by differentiating the denominator is 2x. So I have to apply z is equal to ia, so which will be 1 by 2ia, right? Okay. So what finally means integral minus infinity to plus infinity 1 by x square plus a square dx is equal to, what was our formula? It was for the formula whether your singular points are lying on the axis or not. It is not lying on the axis. So your formula is 2 pi I into summation of residues. So what is your residue? It is 1 by 2ia. So 2i gets cancelled. So your answer is pi by a. So this is little bit tough. You have to remember a lot of things. So don't worry. I'm going to share a trick which is going to be really helpful for you. So what is the trick? So I'm going to share a trick. So what is the trick here is integral minus infinity to plus infinity x power m by x power n plus a power n dx is equal to 2 pi by n into a power n minus 1 into cosecant m plus 1 into pi by n. Okay, m plus 1 into pi by n. So this is the formula for it. Just you have to remember this. So what it is? If you are deducting a question in the form of integral minus infinity to plus infinity x power m by x power n plus a power n into dx is equal to 2 pi by n power n into a n power minus 2 pi by n into a power n minus 1 cosecant of m plus 1 pi by n. Okay, so this is the formula which you have to remember. Let us do for the previous problem alone. So integral minus infinity to plus infinity 1 by x square plus a square dx. So here you have to use, you can use this trick. So what is your m? Here your m is 0. And what is your n? It is 2. So I will substitute in the formula directly. So which will be 2 pi by 2 into a power 2 minus 1, it is 1 into cosecant m is 0. So it is pi. And what is your n? It is 2. So what is cosecant pi by 2? Cosecant 90 is 1. So which will be 2 pi by 2a into 1. So your answer is pi by a. So there is a lot of time which you can save. You don't need to find residues. You don't need to find whether your point is going to lie inside or not. So you don't need to do all those things. Just if you deduct in this form, you can use this formula. Okay. So let me solve one more example. So here my second example is integral minus infinity to plus infinity x square by x power 4 plus 1 into dx. Okay. So what is your m here? Your m is 2, n here it is 4, and what is your a? A here it is 1. Like what is 1 power 4? Again it is going to be 1. So just I'm taking 1. Okay. So let me write the formula again. So minus infinity to plus infinity x power m by x power n plus a power n dx is equal to 2 pi by n into a power n minus 1 cosecant m plus 1 into pi by n. Okay. So what is my, okay, I wrote all those things. So I'll just substitute directly. So which will be 2 pi by n, it is 4. So 4 into a power, sorry, what is your a? It is 1. So 1 power n minus 1, which is going to be 3 into cosecant m, it is 2. So 2 plus 1, 3 pi by 4, right? So which will be equal to 2 pi by 4 into, what is cosecant 3 pi by 4? It is root 2. So here it will be, finally you will be getting pi by root 2. Okay, pi by root 2. So this is your answer. So you are going to save a lot of time. So no need to find whether your singular points are inside or not, and find the residues, and then identify whether your singular points is lying on the real axis or on the, or not lying on the real axis. No need to do all those steps. You have to just remember this formula. Just take and write m and a values, put it in the formula. Just you can find the answer. So I will give you few tasks over here. Okay, we'll be having few tasks. So the first question is integral minus infinity to plus infinity 1 by x power 6 plus 1 dx. Second question it is integral minus infinity to plus infinity x square by x power 6 plus 1 dx. And then third question, integral minus infinity to plus infinity 1 by x power 4 plus 4. Okay, x power 4 plus 4 dx. So these are three problems which you can try. Okay, let us see what is next. So next what we are going to see is type 2. Okay, this is going to be type 2. So here how your type 2 is going to be. So integral minus infinity to plus infinity f of x dx. So this is your function. So if your f of x contains, sin mx or cos mx, okay, sin mx or cos mx. So how it is going to be? So something like integral minus infinity to plus infinity sin mx by x square plus a square into dx, or else, or integral minus infinity to plus infinity cos mx by x square plus a square, something like this. Okay, not the denominator is not exactly the same, the denominator can change, but your function contains sin mx or cos mx in the numerator. So what you have to do here is, so replace your sin mx or cos mx. So sin mx or cos mx with e raised to I mx. Okay, replace this with e raised to I mx. So for example, for this question, how this is going to be? Integral minus infinity to plus infinity e raised to I mx by x square plus a square dx. Okay, so you can put for x is equal to z. So this becomes integral minus infinity to plus infinity e raised to I m z by z square plus a square. You can proceed with x square, but it is always advisable to put z because you are familiar with it. So let us solve some problem and see how we are going to obtain the results for this. So here my first question is integral minus infinity to plus infinity sin mx by x square plus a square dx, right? So which will be integral minus infinity to plus infinity. So for sin mx I have to put e raised to I mx. So this will be e raised to I mx divided by x square plus a square. So here I have to find my, so for, and the next I'm going to substitute for x is equal to z. So my function f of z is going to be integral minus infinity to plus infinity e raised to I mz by z square plus a square. Because we have done many problems with z, so always it is advisable. You will be very familiar. Okay. So next step is we have to find the singular points. So what is your singular points? It is going to be z is equal to plus or minus ia. So here only z is equal to plus ia will be there because it is going to lie inside the semi-infinite circle. Whereas for minus pi a, it is going to lie outside. So you have to find residue for this. So find the residue, what it would be? Residue of f of z is equal to ia is equal to, I'm using the alternate method. So here it will be e raised to I mz divided by, if I'm differentiating z square plus a square, it is going to be 2z. And then z is equal to I. So which will be equal to e raised to, I have to substitute IA, which will be IM into IA divided by 2IA. So finally it is e raised to minus MA divided by 2IA. Okay, just remember this. I'll do next slide. So finally, integral minus infinity to plus infinity e raised to IMX divided by x square plus a square dx is equal to. So what is the formula? It is not lying on your axis, right? Real axis. It is lying somewhere inside. So your formula is 2 pi I into summation of residues. So 2 pi I into what was your residue? It was e raised to minus ma divided by 2ia divided by 2ia. So ia gets cancelled, 2 gets cancelled. So finally you have pi by a into e raised to minus ma. But this is not your answer. What you have to do is actually in this question, what is your real part? What is your real part? Your real part is pi by a into e raised to minus ma. Can you say what is your imaginary part? Imaginary part. So what is your imaginary part? Imaginary part is 0. So always remember real part corresponds to cos. Real part corresponds to cos x and imaginary part corresponds to sin x. So what was your question? It was integral minus infinity to plus infinity sin mx divided by x square plus a square dx. Here your imaginary part is 0. So the answer for this would be 0. Suppose if they are asked minus infinity to plus infinity cos mx by x square plus a square dx. So in this case, you have to consider the real part for cos and imaginary part of sin. So for this, your answer would be pi by a into e raised to minus ma. Pi by a into e raised to ma. Right? Hope you got it. So let me give one more sum as task for you. So here the task is so previously I have given three sums. So this is fourth one, which is integral minus infinity to plus infinity sin mx divided by x into dx. Okay. So for sin you have to substitute e raised to I mx and you have to just proceed the normal way. And fifth question it is integral minus infinity to plus infinity sin mx divided by x into x square plus a square. So here you have to calculate with the singular points. Okay. Be careful with the singular points. So just try these two terms and answer. While finding the answer, try to get the answer for cos also. Okay. Just figure out what you are going to get for cos. So next what we are going to see is. So here for the type 3, I'm going to give you some predefined integrals. Okay. So this is type 3. Here I am going to share you almost nearly 9 to 10 formulas. So you should remember these formulas and I'm not going to give any sums for this particular formulas in this video. So I have included all these in YouTube shorts. So you'll be getting questions based on that. But you have to remember all these 10 formulas for doing all this. Okay. So my first question is integral 0 to 2 pi 1 by a plus b sine theta. A plus b sine theta. If you are finding any function in this form, then your answer is nothing but 2 pi by under root a square minus b square. Second one is integral 0 to 2 pi 1 by a plus b cos theta. A plus b cos theta d theta. So again for this also it is 2 pi by under root a square minus b square. Third one it is integral. Be careful with the limits also. The limit changes. Okay. 1 by a plus b cos theta d theta. A plus b cos theta d theta is nothing but pi by under root a square plus b square. Okay, so these are three formulas. And the fourth one is integral 0 to 2 pi d theta by a plus b sin theta the whole square. Sin theta the whole square is equal to, again for 0 to 2 pi d theta by a plus b cos theta for both. Okay, cos theta. If you are able to deduct something of these type, then your answer is 2 pi a by a square minus b square whole power 3 by 2. Okay, whole power 3 by 2. So this is the fourth one. Fifth one is integral 0 to 2 pi sine square theta by a plus b cos theta d theta. Cos theta d theta is equal to 2 pi by b square into a minus under root a square minus b square. And then sixth question it is integral 0 to 2 pi sin n theta. Okay, sin n theta divided by 1 minus 2a cos theta plus a square. These are the previously asked questions. So you have direct answer for this. Okay, d theta will be 2 pi by b square into a minus under root a square minus b square. Once again, I'm really sorry. I've written the previous thing. Here it is 0. Okay, sorry, I'm really sorry. This is 0. And then seventh one it is integral 0 to 2 pi. Previous before sine n theta. Here it is cos n theta by 1 minus 2a cos theta plus a square. Cos theta plus a square d theta is nothing but 2 pi a power n. Okay, 2 pi a power n. Power is only for a, okay, not for whole. A power n into 1 minus a square. 1 minus a square. So I have a question like, why should I remember so much formulas? Actually, one thing what I would like to say is, because in exams, you don't have much time to solve all those problems. And in a similar way, you need a lot of tricks so that you can get your answers easily. If you are going to do by the direct method, I'm sure you will not be able to complete half of the paper also. So it's not at all bad to remember few tricks. Okay, it is always going to help you and get the answer directly as by saving much time. So that we have seen 7 formulas so far, and the eighth one is integral 0 to 2 pi e raised to cos theta into cos of sine theta minus n theta. Sine theta minus n theta is nothing but 2 pi by n factorial. 2 pi by n factorial. Ninth one is same as but for sine. So 0 to 2 pi e raised to cos theta sine theta, sorry, sine into sine theta minus n theta is equal to 0. So I'm not giving any task for this in this video, but you will be getting a lot of problems in YouTube Shorts. So already yesterday I have posted some 8 questions. So next I'll be posting minimum 15 plus 15. So you'll be solving at least 50 questions in complex analysis by this week. Okay. So that's it. Almost we have completed most of the important topics in complex analysis. If you have any doubts in these 8 videos of complex analysis, don't forget to mention it. And if these 8 videos have really helped you to gain some knowledge, please don't forget to mention that also in the comment section. And if you feel this is going to help someone's preparation, share this video also with them. And if you want to appreciate the work went in this video, don't forget to hit that thumbs up sign. So still then everyone, keep revising your formulas daily, keep practicing. Don't forget to check the questions which I'm going to give in the YouTube Shorts daily. So bye bye everyone, have a nice day.